oh shit. I was like, I should have took the phone, this tablet in there. Oh yeah, I'm good. But
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
You're listening to the three, I guess not listening, you're watching or listening, the Three Faces of Wrestling on the Death Locker Network. I'm Hobo Sox, and with me I've got
Piperman.
Steve.
And we're going to be catching up on the AEW Double or Nothing pay-per-view. This is probably about a day later than we wanted to, but we're going to get it out. And I honestly was doing some schoolwork, so I didn't get a chance to watch it. Haven't caught up on it, so I'm just going to sit here and look pretty. I'm turning over to the Piperman. It's all yours.
First match, I guess, if you count it as the first match, is the pre-show with Private Party and Best Friends. I thought it was just okay at best. It ends up just becoming a lot of gymnastics, with stuff going everywhere and not much selling and no really flow to the match. Steve, what did you think about it?
Yeah, there was a couple botches too. It was boring, but like I said, I was hoping FTR would come out and maybe just blow the match out, or it was definitely a pre-card match. I don't know. Chuck had a few mess ups. Orange wasn't out there, was he?
Orange, because you're on first name basis with Orange Cassidy.
Yeah.
How was the audience? How did they sort the audience situation out?
The audience was probably the best part of the whole show. They had they had all the talent out there. They even had Vicky Guerrero out there.
Yeah.
Which was really cool, and the audience added a lot to it, as always.
How big was the audience? Or like how did they have them spaced apart?
No, it was 12 people on each side, but they did have like people a little further back. I don't know if anybody thinks that.
Did it sound like they piped in audience noise?
No, I'd say it's pretty much what you saw at a Dynamite, maybe a bit better.
Okay.
But the opening match of the whole thing, and I believe it was a huge fucking miss, was the Battle Royal, the ladder Battle Royal. Whoever got the chip down is going to challenge for the world title. And for weeks, maybe months, they've been building up Darby Allin. He's been having all these videos. He's been, stating, he's going to do, and Taz has been building him up, all this stuff. And it's all supposed to be a mystery opponent in there. And Darby comes out, maybe number 5 or 6, and all of a sudden he does a jump off a ladder with a skateboard onto another ladder, hurts his leg, which, depending on who you ask, people are saying that he's actually injured, but I've seen no news about that at all. And you pretty much never saw Darby Allin the entire rest of the time until the very end, so total maybe.
He laid out there for a while, so maybe it might have been a spot where he just laid out there. He was gone for a little while. I was like, where the hell is he?
So do you think it was a blown spot that they kind of had to rework the match based off of that?
I mean, that'd be the only thing that makes sense, but there has been no news coming out of Darby Allin actually being hurt. It came back in the match, and it didn't look like anything was really that wrong with him. But for someone they have, been advertising for weeks now, and who you would think is the future face of the company, they did literally nothing with him to the very end of the match. So he was maybe on screen time for 1.5 to 2 minutes the entire time on screen. It was just crazy.
I thought that was odd. I thought that was really odd.
And, of course, Steve's man appeared. I cannot believe. Brian Cage.
Yep, I called it.
Which,
I was like, oh, my God.
He came out of nowhere, and he ended up winning the match. And he pretty much buried Darby Allin by beating Darby Allin because Taz brought him out, Brian Cage. And I guess that's going to be the new Paul Heyman's Taz. That's almost what it looked like. And Brian Cage is going to be, Brock?
Oh, God.
They had a weird – what was with the blue tongue? Did you notice that?
Yeah, it was odd. But but he won by pretty much throwing Darby. He botched the spot, but they put Darby Allin on a ladder on a turnbuckle. Like they put the ladder sideways on the turnbuckle. Brian Cage took to lift him up, and Darby fell. They put Darby back up again, then threw him off like that. The whole spot was blown.
Yeah.
But I'm going. So you built Darby Allin up this whole time for the last month or 2 months to win this thing, or at least make a huge, a huge, spot for this match.
Yeah.
He did the least than anybody else in this whole pay-per-view.
So it was pretty much a bait and switch job. They build up a character, so that way you were thinking you knew what was going to happen, and then the big ooh moment was he wasn't the one who won. Well,
not even when he won, he didn't even get any spots. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. For them to put so much money in TV time on somebody and then literally don't give him any screen time at the big event.
Yeah, that was weird. I mean, unless he really did get busted up and had to lay there for a few minutes. But I mean,
well, usually you don't introduce a new, bigger talent and have them lose on their first match. So if this is your boy's first, your boy's first match, it makes sense that he won. But like Piper was saying, the build-up for Darby Allin just to kind of fall away and not even be, maybe it's supposed to be more of a competitive loss, but because of the energy of the injury with the botch, he might have been limited in what he could do. So maybe the vision was it's going to be more of a competitive, like an actual face-off, but it just kind of ended up fizzling out because of the, dude being hurt.
Yeah, because at one time they all ganged up on Cage. I was like, all right, they're going to put him down. Then he ended up getting thrown outside the ring, and they threw some big poker chip on top of him, and he laid under there for a while.
So there was a big poker chip. Those things are heavy.
Oh yeah, that was huge. Like 10 feet round.
Yeah.
Who did
I almost bought one last year.
A big poker chip?
Yeah. They had them up for auction. I wanted to buy one.
What the fuck would you do with it?
Well, since I was actually at the event last year, I wanted one of those to remember it by.
When you say big, I didn't watch it, but we're talking like.
Oh yeah, I mean
about
it was
10 feet around, about 7 or 8 feet square, like a circle. It was a huge poker chip.
I mean, it was a big ass chip.
Like
it probably weighed a good 30
pounds. So what was last year's big poker chip going for? What would that put you back?
I guess maybe 800 to 1,000.
Oh fuck that, dude! Next match.
Well, he was under there for so long, and they slammed somebody on top of the poker chip while he was under there. And at the end of the match, when he won, his eyes start swelling up. So I wonder if he.
Yeah, he probably.
I've got a feeling somebody forgot who was underneath there. I already.
That's what I'm thinking.
And then,
because I don't know if you noticed it after Kazarian kind of went over there and shook Cage's leg. But he should have done that before, letting him know if something was coming. But no, they just slammed somebody on top of the coin with him underneath it. And he had a ladder on top of him, too. So that's why I think he busted his eye out.
And I think the next match, I think the Andromeda was it the Andromeda Galaxy Girl?
No, that was further down the road. It was MJF and Jungle Boy.
Okay, yeah, MJF Jungle Boy. That's easily the best match of the night.
That was a good match.
It was a great athletic match. No craziness really happened. It's just a good, solid heel babyface match. Jungle Boy kept getting his comeback, and if once in a while MJF would stop it.
Yeah.
And MJF won the match, which he should have, but it really got over Jungle Boy.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not much to say to except it was a really good match. That's pretty much all you can say about that.
That was probably one of the best matches of the night. I was really impressed. That was a good one.
So after that match, who do you feel is going to leave it with the most potential?
I mean, with MJF, I don't know what to do with MJF right now because he should still be feuding with Cody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And for some reason, when MJF beat Cody, that just whole went away. And now I'm going, is MJF going to come out and say, hey, Cody, that should be my title now. Since I beat you, I should be the TNT TV champion. That could happen. MJF, Jungle Boy, I think him and Luchasaurus should be I guess, being pushed harder. If not, you need to just push Jungle Boy as is. But Jungle Boy has all the talent. He's like 22 years old,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
he has he has a decade at least to just be huge.
Mm-hmm.
And he's beaten David Arquette in the ring as well, so he's got unlimited potential.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the
Next match
Luke Perry
was.
Memorial match.
I'm sorry. Oh.
And the Luke Perry Memorial match.
Oh yeah. But yeah, he has the look. He has the talent. He should be huge very soon.
Jungle Boy to me is the perfect guy to bounce around promotions. You use him a little bit in AEW, then he can, go over someplace different because he's got a good gimmick that I think could work with different promotions and really, I can't say words today apparently, can really meld itself very easily into New Japan or Impact or was it MLW, all those little different ones. I mean, he could even pop up on NWA as the Jungle Boy. It's kind of ludicrous, you know what I mean? The Jungle Boy versus the question mark, and do some spots. But yeah,
I think between Jungle Boy, MJF, Darby, and Sammy, those are their big four young talents.
Yeah, they're gonna keep those kids.
Yeah, who are gonna because Jericho can't be around for the year or so.
Yeah.
And so Cody probably has 5 to 10 years in him, but those are the two. Those four guys have the next 20 years to just be huge.
I don't want to see.
I don't think any of those kids are gonna go anywhere. Well, Sammy was all over the place. I haven't seen Jungle Boy in anything else. Well, he probably got his dad's money, so he's
Jungle Boy. No, he's done a lot of little random independent stuff
lately.
No, lately, yeah, not since really AEW, but I mean, if you look at some of the younger talent, bouncing around different promotion, get some experience and exposure that could only help them if, like, AEW's their home base, if you will, kind of promotion they seem to always come back to.
Yeah.
But the next match is the TV title match, which can we all agree that paying Mike Tyson was the biggest waste of money they could have spent on this whole thing?
Yawning and shit.
I saw a little bit of that. I saw a little bit of that on YouTube, and
he did nothing. He literally brought the title out and did nothing.
He ripped off his shirt. He scared Jake the Snake Roberts, and unless Mike Tyson becomes something in AEW, like over the course of the next few months,
he's supposed to be on Dynamite this week. My whole thing was like, I wonder if they paid him before they signed a contract before all this happened, and they had to bring him there.
I think so.
He added nothing to it at all. If you noticed, Tyson or his people did not advertise this thing at all.
Well, there's two schools of thought. One school of thought is that he was already contracted for the event, so you had to make it happen. Their school of thought is they knew that the event was going to be kind of a hard pull to draw numbers, and serendipitously with Tyson's all this talk about him coming out of retirement.
Yeah, see, I think that's
able to use that as leverage.
That's why he ripped his shirt off too.
Yeah,
but he didn't. But nowhere on social media, his people or him said, "Hey, I'm going to be at this thing. Tune in." I'm going. If you're paying somebody that much money, shouldn't he be doing that?
Well, I mean, it would be in my mind. I think it would be AEW's responsibility to promote it, not so much Tyson's.
Right. It's funny. At first, he was chanting for the Murder Hawk, and halfway through the match, he jumped on Cody's bandwagon. Did you notice that?
Yeah, it was the weirdest thing, and
I think he got confused.
Those who don't know,
yawning. He's like this.
He forgot who he was rooting for.
Yeah, because I was like, and then when the managers got thrown out, I was like, oh shit, he gonna do something.
Well, don't forget back when he called him Cold Stone Steve Austin.
Yeah.
But for those who don't know yet, the TNT title was basically what happened is when COVID happened, the whole belt maker had to close to just make respirators, and so they could not work on the belt, and that's why it looks like a $5
Walmart brand.
Yeah.
Thank God, because I'm going, that is the worst looking title I've ever seen in my
Yeah,
damn
it had
life.
no detail on it. It was like a 2 millimeter plate.
Yeah, but
like,
here's the thing, though. Let's be realistic. If being a logistics guy for years in my job, you know this is going to happen. You know the COVID thing. You probably could have had somebody mock up something that would have looked a lot better on
I
TV.
thought so too.
I wouldn't even have bought it out.
You
But
could have found probably there's hundreds, if not thousands, of fans who have home stuff that you could make something that at least looked legit from afar. Maybe you cut up on the close-ups. You don't have as many close-ups of the belt, but you could have something fabricated that looks. I mean, at least they didn't go CGI something stupid like that.
You could have found any soccer mom be doing her like what do you call it? Her like little fake blinged out stuff on belts.
Yeah.
Whatever you call that.
bedazzling or something. Yeah.
But no, the Cody and Archer match was fine. I don't understand why Cody went over. And coming from someone who's a big fan of Cody, there is no reason for him to win that match.
Yeah.
Now they have taken all the giants. They have taken Wardlow, Brody Lee, Lance Archer, and they have beat them all within a month or less to make them not monsters anymore, just big guys.
Mhm.
Makes no damn sense to me. If you're going to have an unbeatable monster, you need to build them up for months and months and months. And for Cody to win this, it made no fucking sense to have Jake doing all these promos saying he's going to beat Cody. He's going to beat Cody. We want our piece of the pie. And he gave nothing to really let that happen in the match. It was just, okay, this should not have gone this way. I don't think many people expected that to happen.
Yeah. I mean, part of my brain, I expected Cody to walk away just from the history of what we've seen with AEW so far. I figured he'd walk away with it because he likes the idea of being a champion. Just like I figure at some point he'll be a tag team champion. Any belt they have, I figured Cody's going to have it at some point. Because you can. Well, he'll get it back again. I'm sure they'll do some sort of thing. One because
I didn't think you could beat the Murder Hawk. I'll tell you that.
Well, one because he's Cody, and he's the face of the franchise for the most part, and he's that Vince. He's Vince McMahon, a little bit of a nicer version of Vince McMahon. And two, I'm looking at it from a toy standpoint. They're about to launch their line of toys, so now they can have different Cody figures with different belts. So now you got to buy. So I think some of that may potentially go into some of the. It has to go into some of the things. Like, was it Jericho had said that he figured out that if he has like a different color tights every time, then they have to make a new figure, so then he gets more checks.
Yeah. That's like it's funny you said that. That's like the John Cena figures that came out.
Yeah, Rey Mysterio.
They're all the same. They just got different colored trunks and armbands and shit. And the basic ones.
And right now, figure collecting, especially for adults, is something that's popular. Wrestling figures are popular. It's probably more popular now than they've really ever been. And it would make sense that I could see a train of thought. I could see a logical train of thought that would say, yeah, let's look at the long term, not the immediate. We can make some money off toys, T-shirts, whatever. But the fan side of my brain 1,000% agrees with you, Piper, is you build up this guy, and realistically he should have just not gonna say squashed Cody, but he should have really just kind of fucked Cody up, and then you would have had the redemption of the babyface storyline going on, and Cody has to kind of pick himself up, dust himself off. Maybe he's a little bit unsure of himself. He's got to run through it. Maybe he loses another match or two and he's just all fucked up in the head about it. He gains his confidence somehow, and then he, over the course of 6 months, maybe even to a year, it gets you back to a rematch that actually has some sort of value to it. But it sounds like they just basically built up this character. Then Cody said, "Hey, I want the belt," and
also you can add a fourth one in there. They pretty much did Cobb that way. He's just a hell of a lot quicker. They built up Cobb as unbeatable hitman. He got beaten 1 week.
Well, I mean, I would argue you didn't just kill one character; you killed two, because now you've basically cut off the whole Jake the Snake
Yeah.
as a persona at the knees too, because he was this
Yeah.
badass manager persona, menacing, and now like, can you take him as seriously? Can you take him as menacing next time he hits on the mic, or are we going to see that break apart, and then all of a sudden, dude show up as like something different now that he's been beat? Because
And the thing is now, how much you gonna bet that Brian Cage will get beat in the next 1 to 2 months?
Yeah.
yeah, I don't. Sometimes with AEW, for as much as I do like what they do, I don't understand their long-term planning.
You know what? The match that happened. We had not talked about the match yet. We also talked about the whole damn Nyla Rose. She's also a monster who got beat early, and now they booked her up again, and she got beat again on her first title defense or second title defense.
Yeah.
I'm going. How are you going to keep all these monsters you keep giving us, and expect us to like be scared of them if you're beating them right and left?
Yeah, I didn't see her losing.
Yeah, I mean,
it's giving no one any credit in the ring. I mean, any of the monsters.
It's
showing anybody can beat them.
It's very counter programming to traditional wrestling booking, and maybe that's what they're trying to do. But it really does seem like you're just jumping from one thing that's hot to the next thing that's hot, not worrying about the repercussions long term.
Exactly. I mean, if you do it every once in a while, okay, maybe. But when you keep doing the same formula, it becomes okay. Well, how am I going to believe in this person that you claim is beating everybody when everybody that's come in and did the same exact thing you're beating at the time the same damn way?
Mm-hmm.
So at this moment, yeah, Murder Hawk's gone. And I guess the next match was the Statlander match. And since we found out that Britt Baker will be gone for a while.
Well, let's pause here because Ackerman has a complicated history with Dr. Britt Baker. What are you feeling right now? What are your reactions to your girl, Dr. Britt Baker?
Well, I read that she might have tore her ACL, so that kind of sucks. I thought she hurt her face again, but I don't know. I would rather have seen Penelope Ford, but that match was it wasn't.
Yeah, why? Because Penelope Ford is not a wrestler; she's just eye candy.
Yeah, I didn't mind that.
Statlander, as talented as she is dangerous in the ring, hurting people.
Yeah, I saw she had a couple botches.
So hold on. So Ackerman wants to watch the chick who can't wrestle because she's stiff, and the chick who can't wrestle because she's eye candy. That was the match you want to see.
Yeah, why not?
That's basically what you just said.
Besides that ladder match, that was the worst match of the night.
Well, I don't know the Spears match, but I'll get to that in a minute. I'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, I was so pissed.
Britt Baker is easily she's the personality of the women's division. If she's not on there, no one cares about you know what? She's not the greatest women's wrestler. She's the only one that has a pulse in that whole damn division.
Yeah, her
because
and
everybody else.
Rose.
Well, Nyla Rose, you remember she wasn't on TV for like a month and a half, so we didn't see her at all.
Yeah.
She comes back in her first big title defense, loses. So she's pretty much lost any credibility she has built up since then. I guess the next match on the card was the Shawn Spears match, which I don't know if they were going long, if matches went long and they had to do something quick. I don't know what the fuck happened here. Basically, Shawn Spears came out in a dress suit, a nice suit, said, "Hey, well, let's have Dustin come out." No one comes out. Ha ha ha! He's still at home. He ain't gonna come out here. He does this whole shtick, and then all of a sudden, Dustin's music hits for a second time. Brandy comes out. There's this whole thing like he's behind you, and Shawn isn't seeing it, and then all of a sudden, Dustin's behind Shawn. They wrestled for maybe, 3 minutes?
Yeah, I heard it was a short match.
Very, like
Wasn't
3
even
minutes.
Was it? Is it official match though? I mean, that's what I don't get.
Well, the bell ring.
Yeah, the bell
But
ringer is a referee, so.
Basically, Dustin stripped him naked besides his underwear, which he had a picture of Tully Blanchard's face on his cock. So you kept thinking it was balls. You kept thinking it was a pair of balls hanging out. That's what everybody could see from a long distance.
I was like, oh my god.
Ah, good grief.
That's all you see. Like, is this sack hanging out? Oh, and they finally zoomed in on it, and it's Tully Blanchard's face. And he got
That's
beat.
Fucking stupid.
And Dustin beat him, and that was it.
Yeah, and I was looking forward to that match too.
I know, because I'll say it again. Dustin's the best performer they have there. And I know they just pretty much taped that match together a week before the damn pay-per-view, but it was a shitty match.
Yeah,
Did it serve any purpose to put anybody over towards any storyline that you know
no,
of?
it's buried Spears again.
I know they keep trying to push Spears, and I know a lot of people cannot stand Spears. I think he has something. I just think they keep giving him so many different fucking gimmicks. They haven't given him time to sink in. The same Cody problem keeps happening. Give him a storyline with somebody, and he only do it for about a month and a half. Then he has to be done with it. Go to somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, almost a year ago, he had that whole chairman thing with Spears, and that was starting to get over, I really feel. And then once he beat Spears, it was done with.
Mm-hmm.
So Dustin's only got so much longer left. Was this match a complete, like if you're looking at terms of a finite amount of matches left in his body, was this just
it was a waste for Dustin?
Waste of a match.
Yeah,
it was a waste of a match.
Okay, so what happened next?
Next was the Sheeta, not Rose match, which I would say was the second best match of the night.
Yeah, that was a good match.
Now, it was a great match, but I'll say it again. Nyla should have won if you want this monster to plow through people. Because originally, I thought that was the plan until they had Riho beat her. And I'm going, which never made sense to me. How are you going to have a 98-pound girl beat a girl that weighs almost 300 pounds? I never understood that at all. But they built her up again, made her a monster, and great match and all, but Sheeta beat her. And I'm going, Sheeta won the title in February. Not a Rose did. It was off TV about a month, 2 months because of COVID. Now, her first big title match, you're going to have her lose.
Yeah, it made no sense. I did not like that at all.
And once again, long-term booking. I'm like, where is this long-term booking? We've been seeing the closest they have come to is Jericho for having the title for a good amount of time, which I'm still iffy on if he should have lost or not. Because honestly, hindsight 2020, if they had known COVID was coming, I think Jericho would still have the belt.
So let me ask you kind of an interesting question. Do you think the fact that Nyla Rose being transgender has anything to do with the way that they're booking her, or they're trying to book it to where anybody on the female roster would be able to beat her? Because
No.
I kind of get the sense that, I mean, if you just look at her from the character standpoint, and yes, like Kong, when Kong was in there, she had a pretty decent run of
but Kong was
folks.
just injury prone. She was way past her prime.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as the way that a bigger female who can wrestle, do you think that the fact that she is transgender has anything to do with the booking to where they're trying to play nice somehow and say, okay, any female can beat her?
I don't think so, because they're treating every big person that the same way.
So you think it's just an overall issue that, like where for a while where Vince McMahon would always have like the big muscular dudes seem to win everything, they're almost kind of doing the opposite, where like the smaller, more athletic guys seem to be getting over on the bigger talents.
Exactly, which is surprising to me. Well, Vince did that, but Vince did that a lot. mostly with baby faces. He had baby faces with the world title majority of the time back in the day. Now, if you look back at the NWA, where Dusty was and everything, it was usually always the heel had the title, and it was the chase. It's always the chase where the heel went through everyone like crazy, and the babyface had to keep fighting, and now they're just having it where the baby faces are almost winning all the time, or most of the time, and defeating the big monster heels, which is totally against any booking for the last 50 years, probably 100. Ever since wrestling started, you never beat a heel that quickly. I mean, a big monster heel that quickly.
Yeah. And I mean, the only reason I asked the questions because I'm a fan of hers, and I would have loved to just seen her have one of those Goldberg-esque kind of runs, or just running through everybody.
Oh, I agree.
So then somebody finally stepped up, or a new talent, or even like Britt Baker or somebody who you're trying to build up, and you just slowly build that person up to when that person beats the giant, in that field, it has meaning. And like you said, just all these monuments are being conquered so quickly, you're just kind of left with what now, and you're almost kind of wondering, you're wanting them to bring in more talent so there's fresh faces for things to happen, but at the same time you don't want them to bring in more talent because then it's going to become just a roster that's got way too much going on with it, so you can't have any kind of coherent storyline going.
I mean, it's starting to be like WWE and having 50-50 booking. Like, no one, we win 1 week, you lose the next week, even though you have a title, it does not matter.
Yeah.
And it makes no sense to me. I'm like, what are the sense in bringing these big people in if they're just going to get beat the next week? Of course, Nyla should have been this monster back in October, but they beat her right away with Riho.
Yeah.
And I've never understood that. I know Kenny is the one booking the women's matches, and he is very heavy into the Japanese, which, hey, you know what? You want to push some Japanese, that's fine, but you obviously, if you notice, Kenny has not been booking himself correctly, so how do we expect him to be booking the women correctly?
Yeah.
Because their matches are making no sense, and now their two biggest stars, Britt and Nyla, have pretty much been squashed in different ways.
Yeah. I mean, I would have loved Nyla to be that presence that pretty much beats everybody she goes against, but you don't put a title on her. She's there in the background. So like at any time, any world champion, you always have that, they're the champion, but there's that fear that Nyla's going to come in there and take it away. So you could use that for so many different storylines.
She could be more of an attraction, but they have ruined her. She had a great, I don't want to use the word gimmick. That's not probably the right term, but she had one of the best things going for her in the women's division, and they have. She had
she had a good character going for her.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah. Okay, so what was the next match?
Next match was the Brody Lee and Jon Moxley match, which it wasn't a bad match. It was a good brawler match, if that is the best term we could use. The ending, it was really cool when they did when Moxley did what a DDT in the ramp, and the ramp collapsed. They both went through it. Not Moxley, but Brody got some juice on the head. Blood came down, and the match was won by Moxley choking out Brody to where he passed out, so he never gave up.
So was there as much juice as the last match? With
no.
Hidden barbed wire trampolines or
no, that's not that. Now this just came out of the floor, and Josh, this time in the floor, no one can see what happened, so no one can say that they legitimately cut themselves, so no one can get trouble on that thing. Of course, I don't know if there's even an athletic commission for wrestling in Florida anyway.
So it sounds like it was a clean win.
Yeah, it was a clean win. Even the next day, Brody came out and tweeted out, much respect to Jon Moxley, which the only hope out of this whole thing, which, once again, this match should never happen because you're beating your other monster, which makes no sense. I only hope for this is this hopefully can kill the Dark Order gimmick and just have Brody Lee on his own.
Well, and that's kind of what I was getting at, Ackerman. Let me ask you this. So you have a clean win with the leader of the Dark Order, the Dork Order, if we're going to, steal a Cornette phraseism. Where does that leave them? I mean, not all their minions have been unmasked. Their leader got beat. And then it sounds like he did kind of a little pussy ass, hey, that was a good match, guys, high five. Afterwards, doesn't that just completely cut that whole thing off at the knees?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't come out either, which I thought was weird. There was none of them by ringside, nothing.
Because it seems like the right answer would have been dude's getting beat and his minions come out, they start beating the hell out of Moxley, and then there's a disqualification.
That would have been more over to me than him just passing out.
Yeah, I mean, where do you go from there, Ackerman?
Yeah, it's rough. I mean, they need Uno back.
Oh,
I mean,
they don't.
What do you do with the what do you do with the Brody Lee character? I mean,
I don't know. See, that's why I did not think he was gonna. I knew he was probably gonna lose, but not like cleanly.
I mean, you basically shot your wad. Dude came out. He was basically indestructible. He goes right up super quick to the championship match. He gets beat. So now basically where does he go? Does he go for the Cody's title now?
Think about it. They beat 3 of their monsters in one night. I won't hear from you. 3 of their monsters.
Yeah.
Does that make any damn sense?
Again, it's another thing. If you have a ton of buildup, the Exalted One's coming. He's coming. He shows up. You get what? About a month of squash matches.
Yep.
And either he's losing, his people pull him back, and then you get a whole thing with the Dark Order doing a bunch of stuff where they're just fucking with Moxley the whole time
that
to break
up
him down.
Or
I don't know. Or Brody Lee just beats Moxley so bad, and then the Dark Order comes out, and it becomes more about beating the man down. Fuck the title.
There was no
disqualification.
There was no reason to book this match. It should have never happened in the first place because there's no good ending to what could have happened.
So do you think potentially they had no idea who was going to be the ex-WWE wrestler or whoever to come over and take over that role, the Exalted One? So they were just like, let's insert name here. We'll run this to get some airtime. We're going to bury this person, and then the whole Dark Order thing will just kind of disappear, and then we'll let that guy try to reinvent himself later on.
I mean, it has to be what happens because there's no reason for the Dark Order to be around anymore. Think about it. They pretty much, with maybe a week apart, introduced Archer and Brody within a week apart of each other. So they've both been being pushed in squash matches, same amount of time. They both got beat same night.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, in retrospect, I think it would have been better for Damascus to be the Exalted One.
I agree. I think everyone thought that was going to happen. That was the common.
That would have went with the absurdity of what Hardy's has going on. He would have had some minions, and then it could have just been a bunch of random indie wrestlers that he's cool with that could have been his people, show up for an episode or two, then disappear back to whatever promotion they primarily go for. Yeah.
This was easily the worst pay-per-view they have done.
So what's next? So Moxley retains.
Yeah, Moxley retains. Next is the big Stadium Stampede match. And depending on which side of the fence you're on, it was the most entertaining match I've seen in the past 20 years. Or it was the biggest piece of shit they have ever put on screen. At least half of it was.
And that's basically what I haven't watched it. I read it, and I got the same vibe for this as the John Cena Fiend.
Yep, the Firefight. Now,
yeah,
this was not as ridiculous as that was.
But I mean, the camp was
more
this
like
is
the Boneyard match.
Well, but the
Boneyard match is better than this.
Yeah, I think most people think the Boneyard match was kind of cool. The Firefly Funhouse match, it seems like it's either this is the next evolution of wrestling entertainment, or this was just a complete waste of fucking time and space.
Let me start off by saying the match started off entertaining.
Yeah.
I like the idea of them. They're on the 50-yard line of where the Jaguars play. They had a ring in the middle, and they had people come out with you had the inner circle come out in football jerseys, and they called them out one by one by each name over the big speaker. Then they did the same thing with the elite, but not with jerseys on. That way, it's easier to tell who's who. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, because all this time that they've been wrestling before, I had no fucking idea who was who.
Right, but I'm saying for new viewers,
Yeah, I mean,
bad guys are all wearing black.
Yeah, there was a lot of times I'm sitting there and looking. I'm like, man, when Chris Jericho dye his hair black, gain about 20 pounds, and have a red streak put in there.
But then, so the match began, and the coolest part was probably the Hangman's entrance. He comes out on a fucking horse and he sees Sammy, points to him, he starts galloping towards Sammy, and
Did it end with the clothesline?
That's the whole thing. Like waiting for something to happen, and Sammy ends up going in, I guess, through the arena, through
back to the tunnel or something.
Yeah, and so then Hangman is just walking around on it, and I'm scared to death that the horse is gonna fucking slip and fall because now he's on concrete, which is not a good thing at all. So I'm looking around. He's looking around and just trying to find Sammy, and then you just have different brawls breaking out all over the stadium, people fighting each other. And it's fun, and then that's when the fucking ridiculous part comes in.
There you go.
Apparently the Jaguars have a swimming pool.
Yeah,
I saw clips of that.
And you know what? As soon as I got in the pool, I went, oh, fuck, I know what's about to happen. I knew as soon as I saw the pool, I'm like, no. And Cornette is going to fucking have an aneurysm when he sees
I haven't watched it. I know the pool existed, but I'm gonna try to guess here. Did we get some sort of like resurrection water crap?
Basically, they were drowning Matt Hardy. When I say they, it was LAX.
And he was coming back up as a different character?
Yes. They would have cuts, and his shirt would change, going up and down. Up and down, his shirt would change. Like he would have a different shirt, no shirt, to just different things. To where we end up finding a fourth character who's Dr. Matt Hardy.
Oh, fucking hell.
And I'm like, no. I as soon as that hit, that's when the division started. To either this is the most ridiculous shit I've ever seen, to where this is the greatest thing I have ever seen in a pay-per-view in my life.
They fucked it up.
And that's when it went to fuck, and that's when Hardy, I can't remember which one. What's the LAX member with the big poofy hair?
Ortiz.
Yeah, that's when he took Ortiz and taped him to a wheelchair and started prescribing him what he needed. Is Dr. Matt Hardy. And I'm going, oh God,
wow.
That's when it went to shit.
So I guess the Dr. Matt Hardy character is what we know. Vince McMahon said, no, we're not doing that, Matt. We're not extending your contract, pal.
And that's when all the stupid shit started. Right after that, I'm like, oh no.
And
something going here.
Okay,
that's when Jericho started throwing the challenge flag
I have
out
to ask
there.
this question: did Dr. Matt Hardy have a finishing move that was called the COVID-19?
No, I didn't see that.
Missed opportunity.
But he did put
Ackerman's looking at me like that was too soon. Too soon, sir. Too soon.
Then
after that, you really didn't see him again. And you didn't see Ortiz either because he was duct taped to a chair.
And then he put the other member of LAX in the ice machine.
Yeah, and locked him in there. So LAX is
the ice machine made a comeback.
Yeah.
Because it went over so well a couple weeks ago.
And then you have Jericho fighting someone, and he's throwing a challenge flag because he tried he was pinning one of the Bucks, I believe.
Matt. Yeah, I think it was Matt.
I'm telling you, dude, Jericho is just as much to blame for this stupid fuck.
Ever since
Hardy
Matt arrived,
Jericho shit.
Ever since Hardy arrived.
It's like the two of them are just sit around, fucking smoke a bunch of weed, and like, let's choreograph this, let's choreograph that. That sounds like a good thing. Did somebody put a cone on their head and dance around?
He did it again.
Jericho did.
Okay, there we go.
That whole shit he does. Now, another cool part, I'll do a positive, was you see Hangman at a bar at one of the bars inside drinking, which they have blacked out all the bottles. You can easily tell he's pouring some kind of sweet tea.
Yeah,
You
it
can
was in the
easily
Jack
tell.
Daniels bottle. Yeah, you can see that.
But I mean, we're playing up the whole alcoholic thing, you know.
And so then Jake Hager walks in, he has a seat beside him, they both start drinking. Then all of a sudden the big bar fight breaks out. And and they're fighting at a pool table, and then all of a sudden Jake Hager takes Hangman and does the old school movie thing, gets him on a bar and
Slide them across it.
he starts sliding across the bar, and he breaking all the bottles.
So it sounds like this match pretty much just reinforced the idea that wrestlers are stuntmen.
Yes. Well, better than
Sammy
stuntmen, but
is.
yes.
Well, no, I'd say better than stuntmen, but I mean, it didn't do anything, you know. It doesn't, I mean, it sounds like it was interesting. It sounds like it was maybe a fun watch, but it wasn't like the Firefly Funhouse. It really
was
wasn't
a better
match.
version. It was a better version of Money in the Bank.
Okay.
That's the best thing. That's the best I can say about it. It's a step above Money in the Bank in a good way, but it was still, after the Matt Hardy thing, that's when it went to shit.
Yeah.
Isn't it kind of interesting though that my fucking mouth isn't working. But
And-
if you look at it objectively, Money in the Bank and Double or Nothing have a very similar flow and a lot of the same gimmicks going on.
Because I think at some points they're going off one another. They're watching each other, try to see how they can make like seeing what works for them, what didn't work, and trying to make what they're doing better instead of doing something completely different, which makes no sense. You know, the only thing that AEW's been doing better is they have been doing better as far as watchable COVID-19 events.
So would you say that so far, you know, I know we got to finish with that one match, but from so far what you've seen on Double or Nothing, is it basically Money in the Bank 2020 Part 2?
I would say so. Just
Yeah, it turned into it. It didn't start off like that, but then like
I
Piper
don't know
said, with the
that
Matt Hardy,
that
I'm
ladder
like,
match.
Oh, that was hot.
Yeah,
that
the
was a hot-
ladder match was fucking that was ridiculous.
that was a hot
And the
match.
whole thing ended with Kenny putting Sammy on his back to do his One Wing Angel off a 15-foot dive onto a crash pad, which was like you couldn't cover that up, make it look not stunning, not
Yeah,
a
it was
crash
a little
pad.
rough.
I'm like, come on. You could tell everything what was rehearsed. I mean, they had some funny, I guess, bits in there, but where you had Chris Jericho giving the fucking Judas, the Judas effect to the Jaguar mascot. And
I mean, I roll my eyes and like from a purely wrestling standpoint, it sounds fucking dumb, but I am trying to put my random viewer hat, and it sounds like it would be interesting to watch. Like if you, I don't want to waste
It
too
was
much time on
interesting,
the,
but they ruined what they had going.
I guess
Yes.
what I'm trying, I don't want to sound prickish trying to say this, but it sounds like it was one of the stunt shows that you would see at like Knott's Berry Farm or Universal Studios or something.
oh yeah,
A well choreographed bunch of fights, everybody having their own high spots and low spots. But I mean,
Yeah, but they should have done that. I mean,
it just sounds like, you know, I think it encapsulates. I'm having problems with my words today.
I was so pissed.
What AEW's problem is they haven't picked a lane. You know, some of their stuff they do traditional wrestling, then they go way off into La La Land, and they do somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, I know. And I was like, oh,
I hate to say it, Matt Hardy is the worst thing to happen to AEW.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just serendipity or what, but I mean, if you're looking at some shit that's went off the rails,
It started with Matt Hardy when Matt Hardy got in there. Oh, and also he now has a new drone. Was it Neo 1?
yeah.
Was
it Neo 1 or Neo 2? It was Neo something.
And I'm like, oh, he has a new drone. It's a more organic organism. I'm like, oh my god.
Okay, so let's talk about that for a second. How was the commentating? Overall for the whole show?
You know what? They knew what they pretty much knew majority of everything was kind of a joke, and so they treat it like a joke.
Yeah, it's
Like like they're all laughing and just oh, I can't believe you did that, just laughing and everything. I'm going, okay, this is pretty much like almost America's Funniest Home Videos. They're just and they're doing an MST 3K 3000 with
So
it.
Ackerman, is that, you know, is the commentating being more comedic and like they're in on the gimmick, they're in on the joke? Is that hurting AEW? Because that's been a constant thread with AEW is, they
they
got
don't need to
some.
be doing that shit. Like I said, that match started off good, but when they went in the water in the pool with Hardy, I was like, he gonna pop up as somebody else, and
Yeah,
he
but
did.
you can't have a serious commentary when that's going on.
You can't, but I mean, if you're having a jackass commentary with one segment, I don't think you can go. I don't think you can come in. You can't commentate something that's a serious match, and then
Oh no, you can't.
go to something silly. And I think people take you as serious when you're talking about the serious stuff because you're saying, "Oh man, this guy right there, this looks like it fucking hurt," and wow, it looks like he just dislocated his shoulder. And then 20 minutes earlier, you were talking about Nero 1 and his organic sheet metal plastic. I
Let's
don't.
be honest. The entire card before it ever started was highly questionable. There was no match on that card you're like dying to watch.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I understand they had to like pretty much cut and paste a card together because of all what's going on, but they could have done something better with it. It started off. It started off as snake bit from the very first match with pretty much no Darby Allin involved.
Yeah.
So given everything that's led up to it and the event, are you just going to give AEW a mulligan for the last 4 months and hope that 2021 January they kind of reset the ranking system, which it sounds like, I mean, again, the ranking system is fucking stupid because it never comes into play anywhere.
Yeah.
Reset the ranking system and just start from scratch.
I can't say AEW. It's all of wrestling right now. I mean,
No,
people that are doing it is WWE and AEW, and I would say that AEW is definitely more watchable than WWE.
I think AEW, in my opinion, is the promotion that's under the most scrutiny because people know what WWE is. I mean, they've been in a decline and a wavering up and down for a while now. AEW was kind of that wild card where you were seeing what product they were going to put out because that was really going to dictate whether or not a second promotion would be able to compete against WWE and even open the door for a third and fourth promotion, to find their niche as well.
I mean, their ratings,
Oh, it looks like
their ratings have
like
been
we
staying
lost
steady. I mean, they're
Ackerman.
killing NXT. They're killing NXT. I mean, I think this past week they beat them by 220,000.
I really don't put too much attention into the TV ratings right now, just because.
Well, my problem is WWE their rating. I mean, their ratings every week you keep hearing about. They're getting lower and they're having record lows on SmackDown and Raw each week. Record lows. AEW has the chance to. This is their moment. They should be able to build momentum to get over that hump, and they are stepping on their own feet every week. They'll have when they for a while there they were having 50-50 dynamites. 58% of it's great, 50% of it's very questionable. Now it's getting more between 70 to 80% questionable, with maybe 15 to 20% really good. And I'll say it again: when COVID first hit, everyone agreed that Dynamite was the best it had ever been. That the first 1 to 3 weeks where COVID hit. Then when Matt Hardy got in there, then that's when it started going to shit. And I was one of the ones that was very excited to see what Hardy was going to do. And he made it very phony, very cheesy, to where, especially when you don't have an audience there watching it with you, or watching it there to get a feel, it comes off worse. And there's no one to play off of his dumbass gimmick. And Jericho, I think, just wants someone he's familiar with, is friends with, and he's letting anything happen.
Every week this thing goes out.
Yeah, for those of you who aren't watching this and you're listening to it on iTunes or something, we lost Steve Ackerman and he disappeared.
And I got 50% an hour. I don't know what that is.
Well, the good thing is he really doesn't contribute too much to this podcast anyway, so no one missed you there, pal. Okay,
No,
so
that like I said, that I don't know how far you guys got without me over there, but that last match could have been something really big until they put that comical bullshit in it.
is this match going to become an annual type match, or is it a one-time gimmick?
I hope it's a one time.
I mean,
they don't.
It's going to depend who's involved. If Matt Hardy's involved, well, I don't know. If Orange Cassidy's involved, well, it's just going to depend on who's all involved. I mean, here's the thing: Cody wasn't involved in this, which I guess is a good thing, because I don't think Cody would do something this stupid.
Yep.
Are we setting up a intergender match between Dr. Britt Baker and Dr. Matt Hardy?
Oh God, I hope not.
She can be gone for a while with that leg, though.
Yeah, I think I was reading like almost 6 to 8 months.
Well, I feel bad for her because y'all as we all know, she is a legit dentist, and it's gonna be hard for her to even work as a dentist when she can't be on her feet.
So
Yeah, and that hurts like hell too, because I tore mine. You move wrong, oh, look out!
I think they should at least keep her on as a commentary, or at least her doing promos still.
I think
come
she
out, run her mouth a little bit, maybe.
no
manage
man.
Now.
I think Piper, you hit it perfect. Is if you have one of the things we learned with the whole COVID thing was when they had the heel wrestlers come on as commentators, it kind of bumped it up, made it more interesting. I could totally see her coming out and just doing heel commentary here and there.
Yeah, with the leg.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that could help her on her mic skills. I think that could just help her keep her present in the mind of the fans. And also she could talk a bunch of smack, and that could build up something for when she comes back, because you could set all that up. So I guess that pretty much covers it. So Steve Ackerman, who walked away from this pay-per-view with the biggest push, in your opinion? One singular
Don't say
wrestler.
it. Don't you say? I know you're gonna say. Don't you say it?
Let him say it. And apparently he doesn't know that his mic isn't on, so he's just talking away, and nobody can hear everything that he's saying.
Really?
There you
Now
go.
now we can hear. Now your mic's off again.
He's muted.
Jeez, your mic's off, dude. It's off. Mike, it's off. Okay. So while Ackerman figures out how to use his technology, are you good now?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay. So before you fuck this up again, who is the one wrestler who walked away from that pay-per-view with the biggest push? Cody?
That's it.
Okay.
They buried everybody else, and the rest of it was
Piper, what about you? Who was the one wrestler who walked away with the biggest push?
I'm gonna say Jungle Boy.
Jungle Boy? That's a good pick. Not a big card, a nice kind of upper mid card kind of guy who needs to be built up.
And the thing is, you didn't have Marco Stunt in the mix to take any to put any light off of him. It was all shine all day on Jungle Boy, and it showed the world what he's capable of. Is selling him coming back, everything. And now this week we have new Dynamite, and I'm hoping that they push Jungle Boy more, and I hope Cody has no more fucking people to feud with than what he's already feuded with. Let's stay with the 3 or 4 people he has worked with.
There you go. You heard it here first. Or probably 3rd or 4th, because we're a couple of days late with this, but we said it the best. I want to thank you guys for sticking with us, listening to our review, our recap of AEW's Money at the Bank Part 2. A couple of days, we'll go ahead and do our regular Wednesday episode, get that up. So this week you're going to get double Three Faces of Wrestling. I know that's what you're looking forward to. Hobo Socks, Ackerman,
Pipeman.
Piperman.
Steve.
See you guys in a few days. See the rest of you guys. And we just put up on our other Deathlocker page, we just put up a rousing review of the Terrifier. So make sure you like, subscribe, and go check out the Terrifier. Listen to us talk about the Terrifier at great length for about an hour and a half, longer than So you guys have fun. I'll see you guys later, and we are out.
All right, peace out, guys.